employees are taken care of, contractors are taken care of, paid as well.
Your employees are your friends. You know, they're your
Where's Gabe
bandmates.
Eltaeb at? Where's Gabe Eltaeb at?
Gabe Eltaeb was thrown out, and I believe the reason why is because I was making fun of like Ethan gives and he taketh away. You know, EVS giveth, the human sunbeam giveth, and he taketh away. So what I did was I set it up, Shane. Gabe was really annoying the piss out of me in ComicsGate. And you know it, like a bunch of people saw it. It's like Gabe, Gabe was texting me on my phone, which is, again, I've said this before. I'll say it again. Do not fucking text me on my phone. Like, I don't like ding, and it's somebody from like the internet. It should be Hunter, my mother, my father, Andrea, Kaylee. Those are the people who can text me, and my barber and my doctor. Yeah, when it's like Gabe Eltaeb and he's saying, hey, or it's Matt Barr or something like that, it pisses me off.
PTP or PTP.
Or PTP. Remember when he was sending me all those text messages? I wanted to fucking kill him. Yeah, it's like Gabe Eltaeb. I feel like, you know, would it be crazy of me to ask, like, why you don't promote me on ComicsGate Kings as much as you promote Shane Davis? Like, people are really starting to talk to me about how you're fucking me over, and it must be because, and I'm just like, dude, I had to explain, like, ComicsGate to me is my charity work. Like, I do it out of the kindness of my heart. You know, like, I don't owe you, Gabe, anything. I don't need to promote you. This isn't like a business that we share together. Like, you know, I bring you on the show and I might like tell people to back your comics, and I'm doing it to be nice. Like, why would I do that anyway? I could just be like Eric July and say, you know what? This is my audience and I'm only going to introduce them to my stuff to buy. Why would I tell people to spend some of their money on anyone else's stuff? So once you think of it that way, you know, the idea of Gabe Eltaeb like sending me messages telling me that he's entitled to me, like, to more of my energy, to telling people to buy his stuff, and I don't even really like his stuff, to be honest with you. So anyway, like a bunch of that stuff from Gabe, he was driving me insane. So Eric July was talking to me all the time, and I have yet to release the Eric July text messages. I've yet to do that. But Eric July was asked recently, like, did anybody help you? Did you go to anybody for like help building your company? And Eric goes, well, you know, mostly it was just because I was doing this different thing. Shane, if I released the Eric July text messages, and I would only go back as far as when Eric started talking to me about doing comics, you would be like, this guy never leaves you alone. That's what you say. He didn't leave you alone about his stupid company, all the questions he's asking, all the favors he's asking, and all these things. Then I was happy to help him out as much as I could, until there was a point when I think I asked him for a little something, and he stonewalled me. And I went, oh. I think one time I said to Eric, like, hey, could you shout out Cyberfrog? And he was like, and I was like, what? Like, seriously?
Yeah, you were under the mistake. It maybe was a two-way street. Nah.
Yeah, no, I mean, I'm perfectly willing to do that. Like, you know, if you know, here's the thing, like, that's what ComicsGate kind of should be, is that, like, you know, yeah, you take a penny, you give a penny a little bit. So it's like, you're asking me for all these favors. I'm like, hey, could you retweet my campaign to your audience? And it's like, okay. So anyway, Eric's saying all this stuff, like, I could like show. Anyway, so when it comes to Gabe Eltaeb, Eric's asking me, like, I need a colorist, and I said, I got just the guy for you. And Shane, I go, his name's Gabe Eltaeb. He used to color Superman. He colored the gay Superman at DC. And you could probably get him for the low price of $400 a page to color.
Wow.
He's laughing, I know. And
Dude,
he went, yeah.
People don't know that's a lot for a colorist.
A lot. It's like 3 times what a colorist should get paid.
Yeah, that's nobody at DC's making that a page coloring.
Right. So
pencilers that don't make that drawing a page.
Yeah. So Eric's like, okay, thank you. That's a big help. So it worked in 2 ways. Like, A, it got rid of Gabe.
Right.
Okay. And made Gabe happy. Gabe was like, I can't believe you're doing this for me. And I was like, my pleasure, man. Because I had more loyalty for Gabe because he's ComicsGate than I ever had for Eric. So if I'm going to send Gabe the fuck out of here, I'm going to help him on the way.
Yeah.
So what ended up happening was Gabe, of course, once he got over there and was swimming with the culture of Rippaverse, it was suddenly, fuck Ethan Van Sciver. Fuck Ethan Van Sciver. When I had done nothing but help him. He was telling Shantan Jetty to disassociate from me because my hiring David Williams was an insult to his dead child. He was acting like a total fucking asshole and a lunatic. So what I did was I came out and I told the story of how he got his job at Rippaverse. I said, I told Eric to hire this fucking buffoon. He sucks. He's not even good. And I had him paid 3 times what he should be paid. Next thing you know, Eric is sending him off. You know, like, next thing you know, he's like, listen, Gabe and the Rippaverse are going their separate ways. It was 3 days later after I did that, Shane. 3 days later, Gabe and the Rippaverse are going their separate ways. But don't worry, we're going to be promoting the Rippaverse as, you know, Gabe Eltaeb is doing big things with Big Man Comics, with Dean Cain and, like, Kevin Sorbo and whatever the fuck. Like, I laughed so hard. I thought that was fantastic. So,
yeah. You know, I don't miss Gabe.
No, he drove me nuts. Like, he drove me insane. I've got, you know, the fights that he was picking with David Williams.
Yeah, and
you know,
people don't know he what was it he did in the ComicsGate room? It was fucking atrocious. He basically went in there and asked everybody to unfollow David. Yeah. And basically pick his side. And he actually, I wish I could remember, he was like, I know you guys are siding with him and I forgive you. Like, it's like, Gabe, I didn't ask for your fucking...
Yeah, like he's a Christian and he forgives us for siding with Dave. And not, meanwhile, we're like, siding with what? What? Who?
Yeah,
like,
I have
none of us were involved in this.
I have my own books and my own problems. You guys sort this out. Quit trying to drag everybody into it. Oh,
there are people like that. Matt Barr is like that. PTP is like that. Mike S. Miller is like that. It's a personality type where they decide that they're going to take you on as a project and then try to be like, we're going to tell all of our peers that we shared that this is so. We're going to make our little prejudice your problem. And so, like, PTP would just kind of be like, you know, come in and just be like, you know, I think Matt Barr has a head wound. And Matt Barr would come at everybody else and go, you know what, I think Katie did is a problem. I think, you know, these guys are degenerates, you know, and it's like, I don't fucking care about any of this shit that you're talking about. Shut up. But it's that personality type. Gabe Eltaeb. David Williams is worse than Moose Bauman, Ethan. No, he isn't. No, he's not. He's not at all. They all do the same thing. They show up and they just, like, have a problem, a personality problem with somebody and insist that you take their side. And then when you remain neutral, they end up becoming your blood enemies. It is absolutely insane. And we've seen this happen like over and over and over again. Smiller did it with the war campaign. You got to get the war campaign out of here because our precious George Alexopoulos had his feelings hurt. I'm not going to do anything. Mike, how about if I just do nothing, okay, instead of listening to you and taking some drastic action? They all do that. They all, like, choose somebody. They insist that you pick their side over somebody else. And when you don't do it, then they become fucking disgruntled. So that is something that Gabe Eltaeb, that is something that PTP, Matt Barr, and Smiller all had in common. And guess what? Oh, but JDA too. How come you're promoting Liam Gray? And guess what? All 5 of those retards are now in a fucking pack together. Like, all 5 of them have found each other and just want to cause trouble now. All 5 of them. No coincidence. It's no coinky dink.
It's like the Sinister Six and Spider-Man. You know, it's like, it's like they just have hating you in common. You know,
and all because, like, they wanted me to, like, side with them, to sort of excommunicate somebody else. It's every single time. That's what it is. And I'm like, I'm not going to. I can't. That's not what I do. Oh, fuck you. ComicsGate's dead. Then you killed ComicsGate. I mean, it's children. They're just children. All of them are just children.
Yeah, the Gabe part though. really was alarming. Like, it was out of nowhere, and we were all of a sudden supposed to just take his side on the whole situation.
People were like, we don't want to take your side because we don't want to take a side. Like,
yeah,
most people were just, I was already getting annoyed with Gabe, but most people weren't. I don't think most people were just like, he's kind of a dumbass, but like, he's our dumbass. And every now and then Gabe would go on TV and he would do an interview where he would just speak the ComicsGate line so like cogently and with so much passion that like I appreciated him. I'd be like, that was great what you did there. You went on Fox News, or you went on, you know, he'd just show up on these media interviews and he would just sit there and talk about my father was from Cuba and all this shit. It was great, man. But then like just working with him interpersonally, it was just a nightmare because he wanted to hurt other people all the time.
Whatever the disagreement was with David Williams didn't have shit to do with me. It didn't have shit to do with you. It didn't have shit to do with anybody but those two. But he really dumped it on everybody and even offered us forgiveness if we would just disown David Williams.
Yeah. By the way, what else do they all have in common? They're always like Christ is king. They're all like Christians. Like all these guys are like fake Christians that tell you about Christ and they forgive you and they're praying for you. Meanwhile, they're making your life hell. You know,
for them. Yeah. Yeah.
So that's interesting. I just realized that all five of these individuals all have that in common, that they insist that you hurt someone else for them. You know, it's like, or else we can't be friends. Fascinating. So anyway, that was the Gabe Eltaeb story. Gabe excommunicated from the Rippaverse, I guess. And that's funny, I guess.